Good afternoon, YouTube. Today is going to be the video on shares. This is part of the TrueNAS Fundamental series for 2025, where I go over each one of these tabs in one video at a time to show you guys how the TrueNAS system works at its base functionality. Now, a lot of people, when we do the shares section, are looking forward to me talking about permissions, and I'm going to talk quite a bit about permissions here, but I will tell you that the best place to find permissions information is going to be in the datasets video I just did. But the reason for that is shares and datasets are pretty closely connected. I can't have one without the other. So today we're going to be looking at datasets, and I'm going to do a couple things. So I'm going to create an NFS share, show you how to do some permissions on that share, and then mount that NFS share into a Linux machine. Then I'm going to do an SMB share. I'm going to show you how to do permissions with that SMB share, and then how to mount that on my Windows machine. And then I'm going to do something very interesting. I'm going to take a dataset that's got POSIX permissions, and I'm going to change it to SMB. And I'm also going to do one that has the pre-made apps preset into SMB. So today, that's going to be the videos we cover. Let's jump right in. Okay, so I'm going to start by making some new data sets. So I'm going to come over here with a data set here. This is going to be called, let's say, work. I'm just going to call this my work folder. And I'm going to leave the data set preset as generic, because again, this is going to be for the NFS section. So I'm going to leave that right there, and I'm just going to say save. Cool, now I've got a work one. So in this case, root, and other are the options here. So if I want to create this into an NFS share, I'm going to come right over here to NFS share in the datasets. I can do this from two places. I can be in datasets and just click create NFS share, and this is the way I recommend you take, or I can come over to shares and I can add a share right from the Unix section right over here. I'm going to choose to go from datasets. I'm going to come and touch my work dataset right here, highlight that, create NFS share. I'm not going to touch anything, and I'm just going to click save, just like that. Now I'm going to get this warning saying the NFS service is not running. Do I want to enable it? Yes, I do, and I do want it to enable it to start automatically. Otherwise, when I reboot, my shares are not going to be shared. So now I have this little cool folder here for NFS. So that's working really, really well. So now my share is active. The problem with my share right now is the fact that I don't have any permissions to actually mount this. The only person that can do that is root. Other has no ability to read or execute. So that's going to be a problem when it comes to mounting this on another computer. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to change these permissions. I'm going to come over here and hit edit in my permissions, and I want to give other the ability to read, write, and execute, and I'm going to hit save here. Now I don't have any other subdirectory, so I don't have to do anything recursively, but now that other has this permission, I can go ahead and mount this. So now that we've got this data set shared for NFS, let's come over here to shares, and we can see it's successfully shared and it's running and it's enabled. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag my terminal over here. This is from my Linux machine because this is an NFS share. I want to mount it on Linux. So to mount, I've already changed a couple things. I'm signed in as my root, as sudo, and I'm in my /mnt directory, which for me is empty, and I'll show you that right now. That directory is empty. So I want to find an empty directory like that on my Linux system to mount. So to do that, I'm just going to type mount. The type is an NFS mount, and then I have to type in my location. So for my case, it's going to be 10.99.0.228, and you can see that up here. That's the address of my TrueNAS server. Then I want to type in the path. So in this case, my path is going to be this path right here, mount tank work, and that's where the way I get that is it'll show me in the Unix share. So in this case, it's going to be mount tank work. This is my new directory that I just made, and then it's going to ask me where I want to mount it. I want to mount it right to the directory I'm in, so I'm just going to use a period, and that means the directory that I'm in right now. If I wanted to mount it somewhere else, I would type in /location or destination, wherever it is on my system, but in this case, I am already in the folder I want to mount, so I'm just going to hit enter. You'll notice here it didn't do anything. It looks like, oh, that didn't work, and the answer is it did work. It just doesn't show me an output. So when I do a df-h, which shows me everything mounted, you'll see the last entry here is 1099.0.228/mount tank work to /mnt. So I've successfully mounted that into my Linux system. This is done. If I want to unmount it, I'm just going to type in umount and then where it's mounted to, in this case, mount. And now it's unmounted, so I'm going to hit df-h again, and you'll see that it is gone. It is no longer the last line. So now I've successfully created an NFS share, changed the permissions, and then mounted it. Now, what if I didn't want to do that for everybody? What if I wanted to make my permissions different? In my Linux system, I'm just going to type in ID. In this case, my user ID is root, and that's okay. If I exit root, for example, and I go back to that, my ID is this. It's 1000. So usually when I'm not signed in as root, and I'm usually not signed in as root, I'm signed in as user 1000, which is host. The name of the user doesn't matter. It's the number. The UID is 1000, and the GID is 1000, which means that in the event that I wanted to add a user here, I'd have to go into my credentials and go to users, and I need to find user 1000. And I need to show built-in users. and go enter. So there is no user 1000. So I'd have to come in here and add a user, and I'm going to call this, I would call this user test, for example. I would give him a password, and I will do the password again, and then I'm going to have to change the UID to 1000, and that would probably work. So if I come in here like that, and then I want to uncheck SMB user, and I'm going to hit save. Now I've got a user 1000. So in the event that I wanted to mount this into my Linux machine, and I want to change my permissions, for example, and I come over to my data set and work and edit this, I now can uncheck this for other. In fact, I can do all these for others, just like that, and I can change and add a user or a group. So in this case, it's located as root. I'm not going to want to do that. I'm going to want to do test like that, and then I'm going to hit save. There we go. Now, when you do this, make sure you click apply user. Now I'm going to hit save. Now my user is test, read, write, execute for user 1000. So if I were to go back now and mount this on my Linux machine, I'd have the ability to read, write, or execute from that directory using this user. I kind of like leaving other open instead of none. The reason for that being, if I want to mount this on multiple Linux systems, I would have to add multiple users, each one for the system that I'm using. So just be aware of that when it comes to an SMB share versus an NFS share. It's going to be the same on SMB. I'm going to have either one user or many user that has access, but because POSIX permissions are a little bit different for Linux, you're going to make sure either all the users are user 1000, or we're just going to have a whole bunch of users here that have the ability to write to this directory. So that's NFS permissions. Okay, so let's go ahead and create an SMB dataset and share. So now I'm in my datasets. I'm going to add a dataset to my tank pool. I'm going to call this, say, school, because the last one I did was work. And I'm going to do a generic preset. I'm going to do a preset of SMB, and I'm going to. So now we're going to get a warning. It says TrueNAS server must be joined to Active Directory or have at least one local SMB user before creating a share. We haven't created a user yet, so we're getting this error. I'm just going to hit close and create a user in a minute, and I'm going to hit OK here and save. Because I'm going to keep all of these the same without making any changes. So now that this data set exists as an SMB preset with an SMB share, I have to start the service and enable it automatically. Yes, I want to do that. And I have to create a user that's going to have an access to this. Because the problem is, even though I've got this data set called school, which is in fact an SMB share, when I look at my permissions here, the only people that have permissions are the root user, the built-in users, and the built-in administrators. And I don't have any other users that I can use and log in for my Windows machine that meets those criteria. So let's go ahead and create one. Come over here to users. I'm going to click add. I'm going to call this Windows, just so I know what it is. I'm going to add a quick insecure password just for testing purposes, and I'm not going to touch anything else. I'm going to make sure that SMB user is checked. I'm going to hit save, and now I've got a new SMB user. Now let's come over here and look at this. One of the interesting things is that this auxiliary group was added to built-in users. So as we remember before, when we went back to this data set for school, you'll see built-in administrators and built-in users both have allow modify permissions, and my new user for Windows is a built-in user. So now I shouldn't have to do or make any changes to my permissions, because now I have a user that is in fact a built-in user. So when I go back to my data sets, I come to school, the built-in user has allow modify permissions. In this case, let's come back up here and edit this. Built-in users, allow modify. So this should have enough permission to do all these things. So let's come over to my Windows machine and let's go ahead and mount this. Let's look at my shares. So school is listed as an SMB share right now. So let's open up Windows. Here's going to my network, and let's go and map a network drive, and I'm going to do /. In this case, when I want to mount a network drive from Windows, it's going to be the address of my TrueNAS machine, which is 1099.0.228. And that's just the example here, /server /share. And the share is going to be the share name, which in this case is school. So I'm going to come back up here, and I'm going to type in school like that. I'm going to use different credentials. I'm going to hit finish. Now you'll notice here that Windows is going to be the user that's going to sign in on, and I'm going to use my password like that. I'm going to hit OK. Here we go. You'll see my little connected green arrow down here. Let's expand this so you guys can see it. Just like that. So now I've connected to the school drive. And there's nothing in it, of course, but that's fine. But the point is I connected to you. So now that school's been connected as my Windows user, I can go ahead and create some test files in here if I wanted to. I can do anything I want to do, test document, and let's call this test just like that. And you'll see that because it's saved and I can open it just like that, it did in fact work. So we're good here. This worked. Now I've created an SMB share. I've created a user that has a built-in user account, and I've mounted that SMB share on Windows. Okay, so now we're going to add another data set, and this one is going to be a data set that's going to start with POSIX permissions, but I'm going to publish it as SMB. The reason for that is a lot of people sometimes, we'll call this new data, will have data sets that exist in POSIX, and they say, hey, I want to share this to my Windows machine now, and they don't know how to do that, and it is kind of complicated, so we're going to walk through it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to create the SMB share just like I did before. I'm going to have to restart the service so that all the other computers recognize that, and I'm going to have to configure the ACL. So this is what the ACL looks like for the POSIX permissions. If I were to convert POSIX permissions into ACL permissions, this is what it looks like. Root, other is here, just like that. So I don't want to touch this. I want to just hit Save Access Control List just to get this set the way it needs to be set. From this point forward, I'm only going to edit this type of ACL instead of editing the POSIX ACL. So now when I click New Data, you'll see here I have ACL permissions for these users. The problem is my Windows user is not listed here. So let's come back over to this. Let's add an item. And we're going to add a mask, and I'm just going to hit, just like that, I'm going to leave it as none. I'm going to hit add another item, and this one's not going to be a mask. This one is going to be a user, and my user is going to be Windows, just like that. And I want my user to have read, write, and execute permissions, and then I'm going to save ACL. So I do need to add two things. I need to add my mask line, and then I need to add my Windows user that I've already made that has SMB credentials. So now we save that, and if there's an SMB share, it's loaded, and I have my Windows user right here with read, write, and execute. So now let's come over here and launch new data into my Windows machine. I'm going to go ahead and map a new network drive. This is /10.99.0.228, and it is called new data, just like that. I'm going to connect using different credentials, finish that, and I'm going to type in my Windows username and password, and there it is. I have now mounted both school and new data to my Windows machine, and new data started as a POSIX share. The important thing about this is whatever POSIX permissions were existing before were carried over into the ACL. So the important thing about that is this is still technically POSIX permissions, but it works using the ACL editor. So again, the good news is no matter as long as whoever users and groups had access to this before, they wouldn't have lost access just because I converted this to the ACL and added my Windows user. I didn't block any previous users from getting access. So if I needed to convert a POSIX dataset into an SMB share, I'm not going to kick out or ruin any existing permissions. I just have to save the ACL and then build onto it to make sure all the permissions stay correct. Okay, so we have one more thing we need to do for this video, and that's create a data set using the apps preset and then create it and then add it to an SMB share. So I'm going to create a data set. In this case, I'm going to call it media, and it's going to have the apps preset. The reason for this is we create a lot of data sets with the apps presets in this on this YouTube channel because a lot of our apps have to access our data sets. So what do we want to do if we have an app that's accessing a data set and we want to let Windows access it? So now we have the media folder here, and we're going to create an SMB share out of this. I'm just going to hit save to create an SMB share, just like that. I want to restart the server so that Windows can pick it up. Good. Now we'll notice down here in our permissions for my media data set, I have root, built-in users, administrator, and apps because I use the apps preset. Now, I already have a Windows user who is listed in the built-in users. In this case, it's an SMB user. So in this case, I should be able to edit and mount this data set without any changes, and I'm going to show you that right now. Let's come over here to my network, and let's go map a network drive, and I'm going to do the same steps I did before, the TrueNAS address, which is 228 for me, and the name of my new data set, which is media. And then I'm going to connect using different credentials, hit finish, and then I'm going to type in my password, and here we go. We're mounted. I got the media data set mounted just that quickly. So it's pretty amazing to do that. And the reason it works for me is, again, I've already created, let's come back here, the credentials for this user, for this Windows user. If you haven't created this user yet, or you don't have any users that are listed as built-in users, that won't work as quickly as it did for you. But of course, it worked like that for me because I've already built a Windows user that's a part of the auxiliary group built-in user, so I don't have to worry about going back to this data set and modifying the ACL because the ACL automatically includes every built-in user in the TrueNAS credentials page. So that's a really cool, quick way that if I already have a data set that's listed as apps, to just be able to mount it on my Windows machine and be able to make changes. Now, here's my warning to you. Just because I can mount it on my Windows machine and add and remove things doesn't mean that the apps user is going to have permission, and here's why. Let's go over here and let's do new, and let's do new text document. I'm going to call this new doc, just like that. So I've created a new document here, right? And because I did it from Windows and because I'm logged on, because the apps user has permission to this data set, you would think, okay, we're in good shape. Let's come over to the shell. Let's come over here and let's do a sudo su real fast. And now let's go to mount tank media like that. Just like that. Here we go. So you'll notice that NewDoc is owned by Windows and the user and the group is root. So if I was logged on as the apps user, the apps user would actually not be able to modify or edit the new doc.txt at all. The reason for that is Windows and root is not apps. I would have to have either a user apps or a group apps for the apps user or apps group to be able to edit this document. So here's where a lot of people get into trouble. They say, okay, cool, created my SMB share, I mounted it into Windows, I can see stuff, I can click and drag, but for some reason it doesn't work with my apps, and this is why. Your apps are not the Windows user and they're not the root group. Your apps are apps user and apps group. So if I was to do this, I need to change the permissions on this file so that either everybody can edit it or I need to change the group. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. If I want to change these permissions, these are this is right now is listed as 4. This is 7, 4, 5, 6. This is 6, 6, 4 right now. That's the permission set. Read, write, read, write, read. So the only people that can, the other can read, but they can't write or execute. So if I wanted to do that, I'd have to add, for my apps user, for example, I'd be able to do a chown, in this case, let's do a change group, chgrp apps for NewDoc, like that. Now let's do it again. Now you'll see NewDoc is Windows and apps, not Windows and root. So if my apps user would now be able to edit or just to read and write, because that's what the group has permission for. These middle sections right here, RW dash, means that the group has read and write permission. So my apps, whatever apps I'm running, would now be able to mess with this document. I could also change the permissions for other if I wanted to do that. So I can do a chmod. Right now it's 6, 6. Let's change it to 6, 6, 7. NewDoc, right? So now you'll see the read and write stayed the same, but look at this. Now I've got RWX for the others. This means that anybody can read, write, or execute this document. So this is a really quick and important thing to note, that just because I can mount it in my Windows share doesn't mean that I can do it for every single user. Just because I've done it in Windows and I edit it in Windows doesn't mean that any other user has permission just because they have access and permissions to that data set. They also have to have permissions to the data in the data set. So that's what I did here. So now I've done it and changed the permissions around like that. And because I'm root, I can remove that. So let's remove NewDoc just like that. Like that. So now my folder is empty. So when I come back over to Windows, and there you go, folder empty, media is empty. So that's been just a really quick, great fundamentals start for how to do share. So in this video, we did an NFS share with proper permissions and mounted that. We did an SMB share with permissions and mounted that. We did a data set from POSIX permissions, and then we converted that to SMB. And then I showed you guys how to create a data set with the apps preset and how to add it to your Windows machine, and the problem that a lot of people run into with permissions. So I hope you guys like this video. I know it was a lot, but it's a big topic to cover, and there's a lot of questions I get from a lot of users that are beginners. So I hope this really answered all the questions that beginners have. I hope you guys got a lot out of this, and if you did, please like and subscribe to the channel. If you have some questions about this, ask them in the discussion forum below. If you have very technical questions, please post them on Discord. And if you want to say thank you to me personally, please buy me a coffee.